Welcome back, students. After the discussion of Newton's first law and second law, today we are going to discuss the most beautiful, eternal and universal law, Newton's third law of motion. From first law, we can find out the force, definition of force. From Newton's second law, we are finding the magnitude of the force, and the third law explains us that how these forces are acting on different objects. Very first, the Newton's third law says that two forces are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Out of these two forces, one or first force is known as action, and the force as a result given by the second body on the first is said to be reaction. And the important condition is that these two forces are always acting on different objects. That means, suppose two balls are there, they are traveling with some velocity A and B. Now the second ball is colliding with the first. That becomes our action. And as a result, that first ball is giving force to the second ball. That becomes reaction. So actually, action and reaction both are the forces. These two forces are equal in magnitude, means the amount of these two forces are same, but it is in opposite direction. Such a beautiful law. We are finding that practically everywhere around us. Let us start with few simple examples, and then we will talk about the examples given in our textbook. Suppose you are pushing a wall. Don't surprise. I am trying to push a wall. So the force which I am giving to the wall, that becomes our action. This law says the wall gives me the same amount of force. What is the proof? We are getting tired after some time. Wall will not move, it will not displace, but that gives me same amount of force, and that is in opposite direction. That means from wall to me. Remember, friends, whenever you are slapping someone, that becomes your action. That person may get hurt, but the same amount of force your palm is also feeling, and that we can feel. That gives us pain. That gives us irritation. Likewise, if we are pushing a trolley or a bench, we are getting that something is given from that non-living things to us, because they tend to be at their state of motion. They don't want to their state of motion. And as a result, continuously we are supposed to apply the force. The practical example is given in our textbook that whenever you are on the bank of any pond or any river and you are jumping out of that boat, then you are moving in the forward direction, but the boat is moving in the backward direction with the same amount of force. The rockets are also acting in the same way, that they are giving the force in the downward direction and that much height they can achieve in the upward direction. Likewise, one activity is also given that suppose we are having a balloon, we are fixing a straw on that balloon, and as soon as we are releasing the air from the balloon, the motion of the balloon and the releasing of the air will be in the opposite direction. So many other examples are there, that we are walking, the cart is moving on the road. So the force which we are applying with our feet on the road, on the floor, that is in the backward direction, but we are moving forward. We are doing swimming. So we are pushing the water backward to move forward, because equal amount of force will be given by water to us. Just think on this, friends. And the beautiful message is that think before you take any action, because equal amount of reaction you will get in reverse, in backward, in the opposite direction. And that is the universal law. Now, using these two laws, Newton's second law and Newton's third law, another derivation, last portion of the chapter, we are having the law of conservation of momentum. And for that, the situation which is given to us is like this. The description of the derivation, as I had told earlier, you are supposed to remember and that you are supposed to mention. And here we are having one condition, that no external force is acting on this system. System word comprises more than one objects. So here the system is made up of two balls having mass MA and mass MB. And we are supposed to assume that no external force is acting on these balls. That means they are traveling on their own with uniform velocities. So mass of the first ball, mass of the second ball, now the velocities. These arrows are showing the direction of motion. So the direction of this ball is this, and it is traveling with the velocity u. So it is symbolized as UA. The second ball is also traveling in this direction and its velocity is symbolized as UB. That becomes its initial velocity. Then after some time, these two balls are colliding with each other, striking with each other. This is the first part. Then here these two are colliding. As a result, according to Newton's third law, we will have FAB, that will be the force from object A to object B. And as a result, B will give force to the object A. So the velocity of first ball is changing from UA to VA. Once again, mass always remains constant. So there won't be any change in the mass of the ball. That we are saying as action. We are symbolizing that as FAB. And in that situation, the velocity of ball A is changing from U to V. In the same way we can think for the second ball B. After collision, again as it collides with A, this gives some force to this, and as a result A is giving some force to the ball B. And that also changes its velocity. You can imagine yourself also that say you are moving on a road, you are walking or you are driving. Some other person, some other vehicle is coming from your backside and you both are striking. So the speed of both the objects, yours as well as of that object or the person, will change. And in the same way, the ball B is changing its velocity from U to V. This is our description. After this description, the steps of the derivation. Change in momentum in ball A. Now momentum we are getting from the Newton's second law. That will be FAB is equals to MA into VA minus UA, and the rate of change of momentum, that means we are supposed to divide it by T. Likewise, for the ball B, we can write that change in momentum in ball B is FBA, and that we are denoting as MB minus VB minus UB. Now, according to Newton's third law, these forces of action and reaction will be equal, but in opposite direction. So we can write from the Newton's third law, FAB is equals to minus FBA. Substituting the value of FAB and BA in this equation, we can write MA into VA minus UA by T is equals to MB into VB minus UB by T. T is in the denominator on both the sides, so we can cancel it out. Then open the bracket, that simple algebraic steps we are doing. We will have MAVA minus MAUA, and on this side minus MBVB, and this minus minus will become positive, MBUB. So if I am keeping the terms of initial velocities on one side, I can write MAUA plus MBVB is equals to MAVA plus MBVB, like this. and as a result MAUA MBUB becomes the total momentum of the system before collision, and this becomes the total momentum after collision. So maybe one object is increasing the speed, another object is decreasing the speed, whatever is there in change of momentum, but law of conservation of momentum says that momentum always remains conserved, means constant, and as a result the total momentum of the system before collision and after collision remains the same, remains unchanged. Here the explanation portion of this chapter is getting completed.
आभार।